Today is July 2nd. Welcome on in to Daily Cards Live, powered by Munganass St. Louis Acura and also Royal Banks of Missouri. I'm Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Bob Ramsey and Rammer. The Cardinals start what you and I talked about yesterday, very as they have the Pirates tonight, first of three, and then a four-game weekend wraparound series against the Nationals in D.C. tonight, going up against one. I mean, it's a really good staff for the most part, going up against Pittsburgh, one of their aces, Mitch Keller, this evening against
Keller
Kyle
tonight.
Gibson.
Keller's very good. He did not have a good April. He was trying to figure it out. May and June, he's been very good. In his last 9 starts, he's only had one bad outing, and that bad outing was against the Cardinals. So can the Cardinals repeat that, or was that a one-off? Was that an anomaly? We shall see. He had one other so-so start against the Reds, but really only one bad one. That was against St. Louis, so we'll see how it goes tonight. He's a very good pitcher.
Yeah, that's very similar stats in those two that you mentioned. The Cardinals last time out, June 13th, 6 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, only 4 strikeouts in that one. That was his lowest strikeout total in all of June against the Redbirds. And then last time out against the Reds, 5 2/3 innings pitched. That's the first time he did not complete. That's the first time since April 30th that he didn't he didn't finish the 6th inning. So that was that was very telling in the last outing. 6 hits, 3 walks in that one, and 4 runs given up to the Reds the last time out. So Cardinals and Pirates tonight. Kyle Gibson back on the mound. You want to talk about kind of last time out with him? Sorry for that. But June 19th was the day that he was scratched from his start, and Matthew Liberatore had to kind of make that quick outing. So then he pitched again against the Braves in that first game of the doubleheader on on June 26th. Only went 4 innings in that game. So what are we expecting out of Kyle Gibson tonight as he makes his second start since being scratched from the lineup in 2 weeks ago?
I have no expectations because anything could happen. He could give you 7 shutout innings. We've seen those kind of appearances, or he could blow up like a poison dog in the first inning. I have no expectations.
As of right now, and we've talked about this a couple of times, he is your number 2 right now, going into any kind of postseason rotation that you want to look at. He is that number 2 guy outside of Sonny Gray. And man, as you're trying to figure out what you're doing this month when you get to the trade deadline, it sure would be nice to have some kind of answers as far as how the rest of your rotation shakes out right now. And getting these outstanding starts 1 out of every 3, 1 out of every 4 times out of guys like Michaelis and Lynn don't really help you out when you're looking at, okay, what do we actually have here in the rotation? And what tier starter do we need to go after?
Well, we talked about it yesterday, and we've talked about it a bunch, and I imagine between now and the end of the month, we'll be talking about it virtually every show. My priority is a bat unless we get resurrection from Goldie and Arenado. Otherwise, yes, it is a stud pitcher. 1, 2, 3. I don't care about that. Get me a stud pitcher. And if he can be better than Sonny Gray, hooray. You got to, it's like in college athletics recruiting. Recruit over what you have. If you by design go out to get a number 5 starter, guess what? You're going to get a guy that's not very good. Get the best guy available.
Yeah, going out and just getting a 5th starter, that's something that a 500 team does when you're just trying to appease the fan base and give the appearance of, oh, we're still in this. Yeah, we're still trying. We're going to go out and get arms. Sure. That's when you go out there and you get that 5th starter. If you're serious about winning the division or trying to catch whoever is the number 1 wild card team right now, if that's the case, then yeah, you need to go out there and you need to show it, and to the rest of your team too, that, okay, yeah, we're going to go out there, we're going to get a number 2, and that's what we're going for. a guy to complement Sonny Gray in this rotation.
Yeah, that's what I believe they have to do, short of, and they'll know more as each day goes by, as we get closer to the trade deadline, what the veteran cornermen are going to look like. It's been half a year. Goldschmidt has been bad. Arenado has been powerless. He hadn't been bad, but he's been powerless. Who are those guys going to be in the second half? And if you guess wrong, who can predict the future? But if you're counting on them and they fail, that's going to be blowback on you.
The Pirates come into this series 40-43 on the year. They are a team that has so many young stars. And I mean, it's probably been a decade since you could name this many Pirates on their roster as you can right now with this team, with some of the guys they have offensively. Brian Reynolds and O'Neal Cruz there at the top of the offense for them. And then when you look at their pitching, you mentioned Mitch Keller, Jared Jones, and of course Paul Skeens, and not to mention their closer Bedard, who's currently injured right now, so we don't have to worry about him. But that's a good handful plus of quality names that the Pirates are putting together on this team, and still probably a disappointing season up until this point, being 3 games under 500 in a very in a National League that is very easily they could be right there. I mean, they're only 3 games back of a wild card, but probably wish or expect to be much higher at this point.
I'd want to go back before I was definitive in my comment. I'd want to go back and do some actual research. We don't do a lot of that here, but it seems like it's maybe the best overall roster since maybe Garrett Cole was a rookie or a second year. It sure looked like the Pirates were ready to emerge and be a contender, and then they started trading off people and fell back again. So I would say since Cole was a rookie, this is probably the best group.
Yeah, and plus they have some stars still in the system that are going to be making their way up as the years go on. Speaking of stars in the system, it was announced today by Major League Baseball the rosters for the All-Star Futures game in Arlington. That'll be played the Saturday before the All-Star game on Tuesday, so a week from this Saturday. Cardinals will have 2 representatives in the Futures game this year. Tink Hence, one of those, a name that we keep hearing a lot of, and then also Quinn Matthews, the lefty that they have down in the minor leagues, another future all-star or future star for the Cardinals, as he comes up too. 23-year-old lefty, 6'5", 188. There are some of the stats on him. And I believe he's the one that has been moving through the system at just an outstanding pace right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Cardinals the number 21 overall prospect, drafted 4th round in 2023, and just keeps moving up and up and up through the system, and possibly Memphis, if not all the way in St. Louis by September.
He's only been he's only been a professional for a year.
Yes.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Already just making his way up through. So names to 2 names to watch as the Cardinals will be represented in that capacity at the All-Star game coming up, starting next weekend. We mentioned this yesterday, or I think I mentioned it to Claves. I don't think I actually asked you this yesterday, so I will ask you this now. 3 games against the Pirates, 4 games against the Nationals. What is your expectation after 7 games before they come back to St. Louis? What do they need to do in this 7-game road trip?
I think a minimum of being 4-3. If you're 3-4 or worse, it is obviously that's a bad trend. But I think 4-3 is a realistic minimum expectation, and anything over that is golden.
Yeah, 5-2 with this. I think you're looking at still being a top wild card team in the National League, or at least you can call yourself that. You'll be up there. I mean, you'll still be in the top 3 of the wild card, but I think 5-2 after this stretch would be a not unrealistic expectation after this. Did you have a chance to watch James Wood at all make his major league debut for the Washington Nationals yesterday? There were only 3 games on TV, so I did end up watching a little bit of that against the Mets.
And
humongous human, 6'7" outfielder. So I guess that's a new trend now.
Left-handed hitter.
Yeah, and first at bat, work the count full, and then hit a 106 mile an hour line drive that passed the shortstop into center field. So after working the count, still had enough in him to hit a ball 106 miles an hour that the shortstop just couldn't move quick enough to get in front of.
Yeah, that's good.
That's an impressive first.
Yeah, I think exit velocity is far more important than launch angle. Far more important.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Absolutely.
And that's why I never got too upset with Jordan Walker hitting ground balls, except his exit velocity started to go down, which told me he was feeling for the ball instead of letting it rip. So that's what I look at.
Other news from MLB today, Tim Anderson was released by the Miami Marlins, was only hitting .214 for them. The former All-Star for the White Sox was also on Team USA at the World Baseball Classic just last year.
Too bad. Electrifying player, but for whatever reason, he went from being a tremendous hitter to a terrible hitter the last 2 years, and I don't know why.
If you go back and you look at the stats from the day that he got punched in the face by Jose Ramirez, you remember that play? If you remember that play in Cleveland, where, if you go and you look at his numbers from that day when he squared up against Jose Ramirez at second base and took a right hook to the jaw, his numbers have dropped since then.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
What a weird coincidence, or is it?
Right. I was going to say, I mean, if you get punched in the face and the whole world sees it and it makes its rounds and it goes viral, that, not only does that do something to you physically, but I would imagine mentally too. That's a hard thing to get over for some people.
As a pro athlete, really any age of athlete, you got to have confidence to perform. Yeah. That is an interesting thought, Joe.
Yeah, no, I mean, I saw it. Yeah, I wish I would have thought to pull it up, but if you look up the numbers since then, it is okay. Here it is. This was from May 8th, Rammer. I just found it. So going into that game, he was hitting. So he had over almost 3,500 at bats going into that. He was hitting .283 for his career with 98 home runs. This is as of May 8th. This is when the stat was there. Since being punched in the face by Jose Ramirez as of May 8th of this year, 250 at-bats, 0 home runs, and an OPS 200 points less than what it was.
Significant.
Yeah. The sample sizes don't match, but still, that's something if you go back and you track all of those stats. So he will be out there. I would imagine, somebody's going to pick him up.
Yeah. Yeah. If you got a shortstop that's down, like the Dodgers, somebody, he'll help somebody, I think. Certainly would be worth the risk if you're shorthanded.
And he played second base too for Team USA. So he can play both positions for them. Rammer, Cards, and Pirates tonight, 5:40. Start time here locally as the game is out there in Pittsburgh. We will be back tomorrow for another edition of Daily Cards Live. And once again, we'll be brought to you by Mungenast St. Louis Acura and Rammer Royal Banks.
Royal Banks of Missouri, there are locations all over the metro area and beyond. On the east side, in Granite and Jerseyville, in St. Charles and St. Charles County, and in northeast Missouri, in Quincy, in New London, in Center, and each and every branch feels like your hometown bank. Royal Banks of Missouri, where better service means better banking.
He's Bob Ramsey. I'm Joe Roderick. Talk to you tomorrow right here
Munganess St. Louis Acura is making room for the 2025 MDX, so that means great deals for you on the 2024 MDX. We have over 100 2024 MDX models in stock, and you get financing as low as 3.9% for up to 60 months. Or you can lease a new MDX for just $559 per month for 36 months. Or get the MDX technology model for just $589 per month for 36 months. Munganess St. Louis Acura, better than ever for you.